What's good, fam bam? Welcome back to another episode of Loked Out TV. You already know how we do it. We're going to keep it loked out, no doubt, for real, coming at you with another loked out banger. And this one right here, we're going to be talking a little bit about a prison gang by the name of Ghostface Gangsters. Not gangsters, but gangsters, right? 767s, GFGs, man. And, yeah, so this video right here has been requested a good bit, and we about to jump into it, right? So the Ghostface Gangsters, they are a white gang in Georgia, but don't get it twisted. They all over Georgia, right? They all over Georgia, but they a little bit of everywhere. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. They are a little bit of everywhere. And they are pretty much all white, but they're not white supremacists. And this is the thing that gets me when it comes to white gangs. If it's a white gang, they automatically want to start calling them white supremacists. I've seen channels reporting on them before, and they had them labeled as white supremacists. Bro, Ghostface Gangsters are not white supremacists. Y'all got the game messed up, okay? I even seen one channel one time talking about Ghostface Gangsters, and they had the thumbnail, a white guy, which I don't think the white guy in the thumbnail was a Ghostface Gangster at all. For I know he wasn't. But, he had a swastika on his chest. Bro, just keeping it all the way loked out. All the time I've done any time. I've done time with a lot of Ghostface Gangsters, right? And all the time that I've done any time, I have never, repeat, never, ever seen a Ghostface Gangster. Not even one. And I've met a lot of Ghostface Gangsters. You got some Ghostface Gangsters that don't got any tattoos. And then you got some Ghostface Gangsters that blasted from the head all the way down. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on them. But, I've never met one. Not one. I've met young Ghostface Gangsters, and I've met older Ghostface Gangsters. I mean, I'm telling you, I've never met one that had a swastika or anything racial tattooed on their body. Never. Ever. So that statement right there saying that there's white supremacists, this, that, and the third, nah, bro. No. Not white supremacists. They just a white gang. You know what I'm saying? Or not even a gang. You don't even gotta call them a gang. Organization. You know what I'm saying? However, whatever. But supremacist is not in that. Racial is not in that. I've seen Ghostface Gangsters do business with blacks. I've seen Ghostface Gangsters do business with whites. I've seen Ghostface Gangsters do business with, the raza, the Mexicans. I've seen it. The Hispanics. I've seen it, bro. I've met a lot of cool-ass Ghostface Gangsters. I met some that was a little grimy, But for the most part, anytime I had an issue with the Ghostface Gangsters, all I had to do was get at whoever was running things wherever I was at, and it usually got settled. It would get settled. You know what I'm saying? They would make it right. I've seen them to where they had issues with Bloods. You know what I'm saying? I've seen them to where they had issues with different prison gangs, different gangs, but it was not racial. You know what I'm saying? It was just on some gangs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And I've seen them get down. I've seen Ghostface Gangsters get down and handle their business. I know one time there was a Ghostface I was locked up with. His name was JoJo. Big dude. Muscular dude. You know what I'm saying? And he knew Taekwondo or something, bro. He knew some type of that was crazy. I'm not sure what it was, but he had hands. He had feet too. You know what I'm saying? And he was renting out his flop. If you don't know what the flop is, So he's renting out his flop. And it was to a Blood. And the Blood didn't want, his time was up, but he didn't want to get the phone up. He kept You know, like pushing him off. So, I guess he was talking to his girl or something. There's no telling, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to get some money or something, but he kept pushing it off. But if you know anything about renting out a flop, you got a customer line, bro. Like, fools have time slots, and those time slots are taken very seriously. Not to mention, you gotta have time slots for charging the guy and everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's you gotta be on time with this. And he kept pushing it off. And then the last thing that really set it off was that JoJo was like, hey man, I need my flop back, whatever the case may be, woo, woo, woo. And the blood, I guess, did like this, got loud with him, said some things that was disrespectful, and then went back to talking on the phone. Basically like, hey, shut the hell up, white boy. You ain't going to do nothing about it anyways, right? So, JoJo, he jumped up and did it wasn't a roundhouse, but a roundhouse where you go all the way around, I think. But, it was like he just jumped up and just kicked the shit out dude with the side of the flop on his face. So basically, he broke the flop. It was over with, but dude got the flop broke on his face. Anyways, man, he jumped up and karate kicked that fool in the side of his head and beat the hell out of him, man. Dude went down. JoJo dragged him off the bed and commenced to beating this fool down. You know what I'm saying? He made an example out that fool that day, you know? But, once again, that wasn't racial. That was a respect thing. This fool want to act like he's about to just... Because you know what? Even if JoJo... Check it out, man. Not to get off topic, but even if JoJo would have been like, hey, it's all good. Yeah, I understand. You know? That's a sign of weakness, bro. And that fool would have most definitely took it as weakness. And then not only he would have been trying him up all the time, but he would have probably got tried up with other fools. And not only that, but the other Ghostface wouldn't have respected him no more. And then they would have had to handle him. You know what I'm saying? And this fool had some rank, bro. Like, you know, he was doing his thing. So, he had to handle business. Had to buy a new phone too, but when you're connected, you're connected. It ain't that serious. You know what I'm saying? Probably put him out a couple days, whatever, but nothing major, you know? But yeah, everybody trying to say that Ghostface Gangsters are racist because they're white, all white. And nah, bro, I've never met, not to say that there isn't racial ghosts, because you got racial individuals everywhere, in every faction, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't got to be Ghostface Gangsters. You got racial individuals everywhere. But, yeah, I've never seen them be racial, bro, ever like that. I've seen them do good business with just about everybody. And, yeah, they lean more towards kicking it with the raza and having, you know, the raza's back. But they're not tied in to where that's all they can, that's that on some racial shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that at all, bro. And they are pretty large, man. I know one time I was locked up and, I mean, it seemed like every damn white boy that came in the camp was becoming a Ghostface gang. I mean, it was like crazy. Like, I like this one dude, man, and you wouldn't even imagine him being interested in being a part of anything like that. He's a country dude, you know what I'm saying? You know he ain't never really been around it, you know what I'm saying? Any type of gang shit. But he came into prison on some meth or something. And 1 minute he was just a regular white dude, and the next minute he's getting courted into the Ghostface. And I'm like, damn, bro, like that quick? You know? And not to talk down on the Ghostface or nothing like that, but I think that's where a lot of their troubles came in at, as far as you know, because you'll hear some people say, oh, the Ghostface ain't about nothing. And that's no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I've heard people say it. Oh, they ain't on nothing. But they are on something. But at one point, I think they was just allowing so many white boys to come in and join up for numbers. It ain't always about numbers. You know, it's more about quality, not quantity. You know what I'm saying? You could have 1 million fools, but if only 3 gonna fight, what's good in having the other ones? You know what I'm saying? They just there for the name and the fame, you know? For the protection, all that. But when it comes down to it, if they ain't gonna slang some steel or slang them hands or whatever they gotta do, what's the point of having them? And that's the problem that I seen from the outside looking in that they was having. And it became a problem. But you know, I'm pretty sure they weeded all that out and dealt with it accordingly and handled that, because they will deal with their own people and they will handle business when it comes to their own people. You know, it's facts. I don't know if I said, but I met a couple grimy ones. You know, you got grimy individuals in every faction. But anytime that I've went to who I need to go to about the situation, they've always made it right. So, yeah, man. I mean, I don't got too much. I ain't going to jump into all the, you know, the full-blown of what they got going on. But, yes, I have been locked up with Ghostface Gangsters. They are not white supremacists. I don't know why they want to label these fools as that. Law enforcement hates these fools. Now, that's another thing I'm going to jump into. Law enforcement hates, absolutely hates the Ghostface Gangsters. COs hate the Ghostface Gangsters. Maybe not all COs. Maybe not all law enforcement. But for the most part, they hate the Ghostface Gangsters. Why? Well, the Ghostface Gangsters have been involved in, and this is all news, you know what I'm saying? Ghostface Gangster was involved in like a prison escape one time where I believe a guard lost his life. You know, there's been certain situations to where law enforcement and guards and detail officers, things like that, lost their lives, got injured because of Ghostface Gangsters. So when it comes to law enforcement, yes, they don't like them fools at all. At all. I mean, every time I've been locked up, they stay on the Ghostface Gangsters' heads. Stay on their bumpers, trying to mess with them, talking crazy, you know. And I don't know why, because if you see these fools are unaliving detail officers and doing all this, why are you gonna mess with them? You know they're everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And when I tell you they're everywhere, they're everywhere. But anyways, man, that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. That's my take on the Ghostface Gangsters. By the way, shout out to all the GFGs, the 767s, and them Ghostface Gangsters. Much love, much respect. You already know how we do it, man. We're going to keep it low doubt, no doubt, for real. To the next one, and I'm out.
Locked Out TV, thought you knew. Keep it G and keep it fly. Locked Out merch.